The stakes have been set, the bar is reasonably high. Today we're going to dive in to some high stakes racing. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Before we get into it, as always, please do leave us a like, subscribe, all the usual good stuff. Let's get the channel growing. Today's focus is going to be all around some high stakes racing. Probably not going to be in a Mercedes SLS, far too lively on the back end, but we'll come over to the high stakes racing. We can see it is a daily event. The high stakes are time attack races, but are limited time. Each race you need to pay an entry fee, perfectly fine, around about 5,000 credits, and of course, as soon as we beat the target time, we will have around about an hour to beat it. We will be prompted, yada yada yada, guys. I'm sure you guys are all well aware of the high stakes racing by now. Looking forward to this, not when I've spent all too much time jumping into. What do we have on board today? Well, we do have Stanley's Marble. It is a 3-mile time attack, clear 100% on road. We love to see it. Specifically in a Lamborghini, 700 to 800 RP rated with a time to beat of 2 minutes. Let's jump into it. We will of course jump in to the Huracan that we have been using quite successfully, and it now tells us the time to beat is 1:55, changing very quickly from 2 minutes. But we'll get into this one. We will launch the Huracan off the line. We do out-launch, or reasonably out-launch, our previous venture out on this one. It appears I have done this before. I've got no recollection. As we do start to pull away from our previous effort, we break into the first turn here, but on that wet road with slick tyres, we do outbrake ourselves, and essentially, guys, we've already ruined our first attempt of 3 for this race. The chances are, making any errors at all here, you're going to lose out, and you're probably going to have to start again, much like we're going to have to do right here. Come through this checkpoint around about 34 seconds in. We're going to have to just restart this one. That race, for me, is essentially scrapped, so we'll get back into it. 1:55 to beat in the Huracan. We know that Aventadors, the Countach, is already faster. We have a better handling package. We'll launch the Huracan off the line. We do out-launch our best effort so far, so we know we have made improvements with the handling and performance tweaks we've made so far. Once again, we'll push forward. We know not to outbrake ourselves. Coming into this first right-hander though, we do manage to navigate it better. We don't go off track. We powered downhill here. We have now created a gap to our previous effort, or a previous outing on this circuit, this track that we have been given. Get the power down though. The issue I do have here coming into the race is we were told it's 100% clear on asphalt. Well, where does this tell us that we have a wet road surface? It is a very big issue I have with the game. I want to know what road surface we are coming into, especially a race like this where we only have 3 efforts, 3 attempts to set our fastest time. I want to know what road surface we're coming into so we can prepare for this one best. Nonetheless, we will advance, we will push forward with it. We are around about 48-50% into this one. We have created a huge gap to our previous effort, so we know that we are doing better for time. Left-hander here, don't want to outbrake ourselves. I know this track previously, I have outbraked myself and I have hit that wall on the right-hand side. Moving forward through the track, we can venture wide across the track here. Take the curb on the left-hand side, cut across the right here, make the track a little bit shorter, obviously saving some more time. Getting the power back down into this left-hander, again being cautious as we swing it right. Clipping a little bit of the curb here, we can then instantly get the power back down. It's probably one of the fastest lines we can take through that little section of the track. Now we can get the pedal to the metal. We can really push forward with this high stakes. We know we've got a very tight time to beat. As it sits just now, it doesn't look like we're going to be beating that 1:55 time. We really need to be tidying everything up here, getting on the power as fast as we can, negotiating the turns as fast as we can. In this attempt, we sit on the left-hand side to cut across to the right there. I do think that's going to be our best line coming through that last turn, crossing the line with 1:59. We need to make up around about 4, maybe even 5 seconds to be competitive. We've got one last attempt here though. We will launch the Huracan once again off the line, and we're essentially neck and neck with our effort that we did just have there. I do like having the ghost car on this one, but we have been quicker through the early sections of this one as we come up into our first braking point. Once again, not outbraking ourselves, we do make a better effort than we did last time out. Powering on down the hill, we have created a very small gap, maybe made up a second or so there through turn 1. Coming down through this section, power all the way to the floor, or foot all the way to the floor, don't know what I was trying to say there, into this braking section. Again, don't want to outbrake ourselves. We do unfortunately go wide and take the curb on the outside, losing a little bit of time, but we do still have a gap to our previous effort. Once again, I think we're maybe about a second or so ahead of ourselves at this point, looking at the gap that we do have on the mini-map. Right-hander right here, again we want to be very careful, and we do go wide, we do hit that lamppost, and we do lose a lot of time. Like we can see our previous effort now overtaking us, but as we cut up the inside here, we are starting to make a little bit of ground back, or it seemed we were making a bit of ground back on our previous effort. On that turn specifically though, that is one of the most difficult turns in my opinion on this circuit. We do manage to undercut our previous time and create that gap back once again, taking a little bit more this time out of that little section, saving a little bit more time. It does feel like we haven't made a good enough effort at this point. We will persist though, cut across the track here, saving a little bit more time again, a little bit bumpy, a little bit jumpy in the Huracan. This thing is of course set up very solid. Power down, we are ahead of our previous effort. It does seem though, with just about 15% left, we're probably not doing enough to get close to that minute 55 time. We're a little bit cleaner through this section. This time out, we do go right of the hedge line, so when we come up to this right-hander, we do have a tighter turn here. We don't make the best of efforts, losing the back end slightly. Putting the power down in anger here, crossing the line with a minute 58, so we are still about 3 seconds off the pace. We know where that could be made up with this one, but it all is ruined, and it's ruined by cheaters in the game, and this is a fucking huge issue with this game. A minute 56 seconds, 1 second that these cheaters are getting away with going around here. This is high stakes, and the game is doing absolutely nothing to punish these guys. They put all these posts out on X, on the Discord, that anyone that's caught cheating the game will be banned and they get Steam bans. Well, it's obviously not the fucking case. There's so many people ruining this game, it's really irritating. We can't go into these high stake races and really achieve something in a game, which is why we're all here. It is ruining the game. Yes, I know this is probably isolated to playing this on Steam, where I do play this, but this should not be the case. This should be eradicated from the game. The developers really have to pull their fingers out of their arses and fix this. It is fundamentally ruining the purpose of those high stakes race. Enough of me ranting, guys. A little bit of a different video for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Smash up the like button, subscribe, all the usual good stuff, guys. It would be fantastic if you do that for me today. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed today's content. Check out tomorrow's video all around a little hidden gem here on Test Drive Unlimited, Solar Crown.